All right, so today we're going a little old school. I want to create something that artists have been using for hundreds of years, the camera obscura. The first thing you're going to need is a large cardboard box that is sealed completely so no light passes through anything. We're going to place some paper on the back of the box. This is going to be the screen in which the image will appear on. Now we're going to poke a tiny little hole the size of a pin on one side of the box. This is where the light's coming through so it can project onto the white surface. You're going to need a blanket to cover up the opening of the box so that it gets really dark and you can see the image from the inside. Just put your head inside the blanket and you'll see the magic. It is pretty cool. So this is what I saw. I saw an upside down image of what is outside of my house. It is super cool, but we need to make a few adjustments. Like, how are we going to make it clearer so I can trace? So to fix this issue, I'm going to be using a smaller box. This way I can move the back of the box closer or farther away so I can get a nice clear image. Things that also might help with getting a nice clear image is the size of the hole that you chose, or even using special lenses to go inside. So I'm cutting the box in the back so I can fit the smaller box inside. And now I'm moving that white paper to the back of the box. This is going to act like a screen, just like a projector. Cutting everything to the right size so that it's nice and flat. Now let's place the small box into the big box. And then we're going to play around with it so that we can get the perfect clarity. So I'm moving the box back and forth until I can see a nice clean image. Now we're going to seal the top of the box so that there's no light seeping through. You're probably wondering, now that the box is sealed, what are we going to do to be able to see the inside of it? Well, we're going to be able to see the image from the outside by cutting a big hole in the back of the smaller box. Make sure you have like a frame-like edges just so that you can tape the paper onto the back of it. This is also going to make it easier to trace as well by tracing from the outside rather than the inside. Another thing that might be helpful is having a clear sheet that is very stiff to go underneath the paper so that you have a nice flat surface to trace on. Make sure you wrap a blanket all the way around it so that there is absolutely no light seeping through when you put your head underneath it. Making a few adjustments to make it darker, and we're also going to be adding a handle for the smaller box. This makes it easier to slide the box back and forth to get the image as clear as possible. I also decided to cut the box a little bit shorter because I found the image was much clearer when it was closer to the hole, but it's not going to be true for every single camera obscura that you make. One last test to make sure everything is working properly, and here is what I see. This is the image of what you see from the outside at the back of the box, and you can see that it is a flipped image of what we see outside. I moved the box so we couldn't see the frame of the window and the shelf that was on the side. And the tracing was a disaster, and one of the main reasons is because I didn't have a hard surface to draw on. So getting a piece of plexiglass would have been a great tool to have in this camera obscura. Now, historically, artists didn't use cardboard boxes like this. They had a much more refined setup. Some camera obscuras were entire rooms, like you'll see in some of these photos, and others are wooden boxes with lenses and mirrors to improve brightness and clarity. Artists would sometimes project the image onto a paper or surface and trace over it. It was especially useful for landscapes where accuracy and perspective really mattered. One of the most famous people who studied and documented in detail was Leonardo da Vinci. He didn't invent it, but he analyzed how it worked, wrote about it extensively, and even compared the human eye to the camera obscura. Many artists would use it to trace the composition, and once that's done, they would take it out of the camera obscura and paint the rest either right there and then, or take it back to their studio and do very fine details afterwards. It was a way of documenting people of great importance and places around them. But when photography started becoming more advanced, there were people who thought, is this the end of art? Because suddenly you didn't need to draw something to capture reality. But that clearly didn't happen. Artists adapted, they evolved. We experimented with new styles of art. So after spending all this time setting up the camera obscura, I had to ask myself, would I actually use this? And honestly, probably not. It was fun and fascinating and an amazing learning experience, but also bulky, sensitive to lighting, hard to set up, and very impractical for everyday use. So with the Da Vinci Eye app, instead of building a box and setting it up in the dark, you just take a photo, upload it, and it overlays your image directly onto your drawing surface. No guesswork, no darkness, no bulky setups. I gave myself about 5 minutes to sketch the same scene using the app, and right away the difference was obvious. I could actually see the details. I could tell what everything was. The lines were clearer and cleaner and way easier to follow. But to be fair, I'm not comparing this to a professional grade camera obscura. Those were much more advanced than my cardboard version. But even with that in mind, the difference in usability is huge. With the app, it's portable, it's fast, it's clear, and it adapts to you. You don't have to fight with the tool to make it work. And at the end of the day, that's what this comparison comes down to. Both the camera obscura and modern tools like the Da Vinci Eye app are based on the same core idea: helping artists translate what they see into something they can draw. One just does it in a way that fits today's world. And that doesn't take away from history. If anything, it makes it more impressive, because what started as a dark box with a tiny hole has evolved into something you can carry in your pocket. And honestly, that's kind of amazing. Now, after spending about 5 minutes drawing the second drawing, you can really see the difference. It kind of speaks for itself. I hope this video was something fun for you to watch and also something that you learned from. Because I want you to remember that tracing has never been cheating. It's always just been a tool for artists. Never stop creating.